Hey, what's going on, shrimp keepers? It is Saturday, which means another shrimp Saturday, and today I just wanted to do a little video. Now I want to talk about tank size, and I get this question quite often. A lot of people say, you know, what size tank should I have? How many shrimp per tank? Different things like that. And so I wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons to having a small aquarium for shrimp. And why I think it's extremely difficult. And so so I'm sitting up here at my desk, and that's when I thought of it, because I have this little 1.5 Mr. Aqua that we have some, like, they're like, I don't know, they're not crystal shrimp, but they're like the wild form of the crystal shrimp. And so so we're just going to do a quick video talking about that, and everything else is going good. Thank you guys so much for all of the orders this past week. I ran a special on the website it is still going on, and just selling some ADA, and you guys came through big. And so I actually raised about, I think it was about $1,400 towards the shrimp order, which is huge. So thank you guys so much for that, and I really do appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into the Shrimp Saturday video and talk about the pros and cons to having a small shrimp tank. Alright, so this is my little 1.5 Mr. Aqua. It's got a matin filter in here. We made a little custom filter for it. Got some, what is that? Malaysian driftwood, I believe. And then big Anubias plant, some moss, Indian almond leaf. And then it does have some snails in there. There's the snails right there. And anyway, yeah, this tank's doing really good. Started off with 5 shrimp. We started off with 6, and we currently have 4. And so we did lose 2. One actually crawled out. He got out of this tank somehow, and I actually found him like way over here, so he made quite the trip. But so the pros and cons to having a small tank: one is you have to constantly top the tank off, so there's always evaporation, which I normally keep the tank like right below the matin filter, especially if you're running a sponge filter. Sorry about the focus. Because if you run a sponge filter or a matin filter, you're going to get this constant air bubbles up here, which is putting a lot of agitation on the surface of the water, which is going to increase the amount of evaporation that you're going to get on the tank. And so you have to constantly be topping this off, especially with this one being 1.5 gallons. Like, I think this is a day of evaporation, which is like half an inch of water, and that's going to drastically affect the water parameters for the shrimp. And so especially when shrimp bury, if you're having huge fluctuations in the water, they're most likely not going to carry their eggs to term, which is going to make it really hard to breed shrimp. But if you're just planning on keeping shrimp, it's not a big a deal. But I'd say you got to top off constantly, at least once a day, you know, every 2 days at the bare minimum. And so that's one of the biggest cons with having a small tank. The other thing is, like, I always say this, with the amount of water volume you have, you're going to run into issues, because if you make a mistake, it's going to have bigger effects because it's such a small tank. So if you put a drop of dye into a cup of water, it's going to dye the water, but if you put it into a 5-gallon bucket, it's not going to even make a difference. And so the same principle holds for a small tank. And so you really got to be on top of it. So like this tank, if I feed too much, you know, it's really going to pollute the tank quick. And having snails in here, you can see the pink snails on the left side of the screen and one in the middle. They're going to help pollute the tank quicker. And so now you're getting into doing more water changes. So just a lot can go wrong quick in these. Like with a tank this size, I would recommend doing water changes every 2 weeks or even every week. Whereas like my 40 gallons at the shop, we do a water change once every month, and so it's a huge difference. So there's a lot more maintenance with a small tank. And shrimp themselves, I mean, I don't want to say they're sensitive, but they are in a way. Like, you can do so much neglect to them, but with a small tank, like the constant change in parameters, the change in temperature, because I don't use heaters, so 1.5 gallons is going to change temperature a lot quicker than a 20-gallon tank. And so with that being said, like, there's just so much that can go wrong so quickly. And yeah, so small tanks I don't recommend them. This tank I love, and I feel like I'm pretty good at keeping shrimp. and we still lost 2. Granted, one crawled out, and I don't know what happened to the other one. I never even saw it, and so I don't know if they died or what happened. But you know, shrimp don't just crawl out of a tank for no reason. There had to have been something that was off. Maybe I didn't, you know, add water for evaporation quick enough, and that happened. But anyway, yeah. So I don't recommend small tanks. So let's get into what I do recommend. So I would recommend anything above a 10-gallon. A 20-gallon is preferred or bigger if you can, but a 10-gallon could work. And so with those, again, you don't really have to worry about evaporation as much, you know, not as many top-offs, not as many water changes. And then how many shrimp can you keep per tank or per gallon, or how it works out. And I have it figured out to where you can keep, 5 shrimp per gallon adult shrimp, which is on the heavy side. So like in a 20-gallon tank, you can have 100 adult shrimp, but that's really keeping up with water changes. And so for an everyday hobbyist, I'd recommend half that. So a 20-gallon tank, you would keep 50 shrimp in. So what is that? 0.5 shrimp per every gallon, or 1 shrimp for every 2 gallons. Is that right? My math is so terrible. Let me see. So 20 gallons, 50 shrimp. So whatever that is. I'm too tired to do math. That's embarrassing because I'm actually pretty good at math. But whatever. So yeah. So 0.25 shrimp per every gallon. So 1 shrimp per every 4 gallons. Is that even right? I don't freaking know. I'm sorry. Don't make fun of me. It's been a long day. We've been setting up Christmas trees all day. There's one of the Christmas trees right there, and it's not even set up yet. It's just, ugh. Christmas is awesome, but it's also stressful. It can be, but anyway, yeah. So bigger tanks, 25 shrimp per 10-gallon tank, 50 shrimp per 20-gallon tank, 100 shrimp per 40-gallon tank, and you guys can just kind of go from there. So that's what I recommend, and definitely top it off. And I actually didn't explain this. What I mean by topping off is evaporation doesn't take out the minerals in the water, and it just evaporates pure water. So when you do adjust for evaporation, you want to just add pure RO water in, or distilled water. They're both exactly the same. And so that's what I recommend. Anyway, this video is getting long, and I know I've been doing a lot of long videos lately, so I don't want to keep you guys occupied too much. Stay tuned for videos this week. It's going to be a little off schedule like it has been. Christmas season is always busy. And so anyway, thank you guys again for all the orders. I'm really excited to get this import order going, and I'm excited to take you guys on the journey for that. If you guys are interested in 88 soy, I think there's like 7 bags left. I'll put that link down in the description. But anyway, if I end up not making a video, which I probably should, and I probably will, you guys have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and I'll talk to you again as soon as possible. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk with you guys soon.